Well, hello racing fans and welcome to our Gallop TV preview show for Turffontein on the 18th of July. It's Thursday, we're on the inside track, and what's on offer? Well, it's 9 races. Yep, it is 9 races on the go. Race number 1 at 12:15, and we should be finished by 1700 hours. As always, it's Alistair Cohen, the man that will be previewing this race meeting. And he sounds much better than from the last time I spoke to him. So, Alistair, the TLC and the meds have done their trick.
Correct, Dees. Alive and kicking. Still got a little linger of a cough, but like everyone knew after the last show, that not much would keep me down. So back at it, back at the ground, feeling alive and ready to go. It should be an easier show to listen to than the last one. You were obviously with me on Hollywoodbets Durbanville, where I turned around to you and said I'm in trouble. So that's how long it's been. But all good. And talking about this card on Thursday, Dees, I quite like it. I mean, if this was a Saturday card in season, you wouldn't look at this and say it's out of place. So I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully it yields some dividends.
Okay, let's get straight into it then. Race number 1 would not part of the exotics. That will all begin in the second race. It's a work riders race over 1600 meters, and always as a guide, horses in single figures. Number 1 at 3-1, horse number 2 at 28-10, number 6 at 18-10, 7 at 5-1, and we got number 9 at 18-10. How are we going to get things off and away in race number 1? Can we possibly, bank some money with a certain type of bet that you fancy?
This is probably the most complex race on the card because the form that's on offer is pretty shallow. When you got Breath of Magic, a 28-start maiden who's running some pretty ordinary races, and you're going to give him a vote of confidence as being a chance on this race, then you might just be barking up the wrong tree. I think number 6, Duchess of Seville's alive here, and a Charmel Mabaya for Brett Crawford might be worth a bit of an each-way play. Second one after a rest, clearly needed the last run, when behind Do It With Diamonds came out and ran second subsequently, a good second. I think she's on the up. She met Frances Ethel, a very underdone and unexposed and untested Frances Ethel at the time, who obviously improved at a rate of knots after winning her maiden. But I think that she might be the horse to focus on in the opener on this Turffontein card. I see there's money on number 9, the Cane Train. The form is okay. It probably fits in pleasingly in a race of this nature, so I respect the money. I respect her chances. American Rebel is probably bound to be there or thereabouts, especially if the blinkers do the job. Pelisila Moncava takes the right for Waishong mowing. Pelisila obviously rode a winner for Waishong not so long ago. He is based at Turffontein. He's Tony Peters' main work rider, not Waishong's, but I'm sure he's put a leg over this horse, American Rebel. But I'd hesitate to have a win bet to answer your question. I'll probably open up here with swingers, and I'd probably look at 6 and 9 as my play.
6 and 9 as a swinger bet, and once you play that swinger bet, what you're saying, you're hoping for 2 runners to finish in the top 3, then those could be the 2 runners in your quartet as roving bankers, number 6 and 9. And Alistair is on the mark with Hollywoodbets. Number 9 has been backed anti-post 12-1 into 8-1, so keep an eye on that. If that shortens further, there could be some confidence coming through from the stable of Robin Claassen. Race number 2 will kick off the bar pot. It's over 1450 meters, and let's go through it. Number 1 at 5-2. Number 2 is a scratching. Horse number 8 is a 4-1 shot, and there's money on Hollywoodbets from 12-10 into even money. Komiki Storm. Of course, we know how well related she is, a full sister to Komiti Dung, and these guys, Kenneth Pillay and Kestrom Investments, had to dig deep. 3.2 million rand purchase. Alistair will know the pedigree well. And then this filly, Flying Health, was not in the betting, number 7. I also looked up that pedigree, Alistair. Full sister to La Mula, who's won over 1600 and 1800 meters. When you look at the race, with respect to the ones that got form, and there are a few, especially this horse Jilted, I really like the form line of its last start, even though the horse, disappointed as a 9-10 shot. But Komiki Storm may be in the right place on pedigree.
I've heard a word about Komiki Storm, as you mentioned, a full sister to Kwame Didin, winner of the Hollywoodbets Durbanville, and also the World Sports Betting Cape Town Met. And string of unbelievable performances at the highest level when not winning. There's a word out. She is nominated for the Douglas White Tegweni Stakes on Gold Cup Day. I believe that the intention is to get her down for the Grade 1. Obviously, the race that Tony Peter won last year with Bavarian Beauty. A good draw. The talk is out there. And I'd anticipate a huge run. And we know when the money and when the talk is there for the Peter horses, the strike rate is very high. They don't generally go missing. So if not winning, number 9 Komiki Storm should be bang then. And from what I hear, looks to be a bar pot banker in the first leg. Just want to talk about the other first timer, Flying Hafler. Got an awkward draw to overcome, but you're right, relates to Lamu Hull, who of course won the Sea Cottage Stakes the day after the Hollywoodbets Durbanville. The deep draw and also on debut Keratila Kachedi taking the ride, that wouldn't scream tons of confidence, but it wouldn't surprise me to see her run a forward race. I think she'll be in the first 4 is what I'm saying. And then number 8, Jilted. Funny enough, there are 2 pieces of form that stand very, very positively in this race. I think Jilted will be the first race runner home. Sadly, this is not the first leg of the pick 6, so we can't use that to our advantage. But talking about Jilted, the last run form line was good. I don't think she got home over a mile either. She was right up there, and she just faded out of it tamely when she was expected to go well at 9 to 10. But also her third to Rodeo Drive. Rodeo Drive has obviously put herself right into the picture as being not the best 2-year-old filly in the country, but not far away, having run second the Alan Robertson at Hollywoodbets Scottsville, and confirming that with an unbelievable win at Turffontein, prepping for whatever there is to come for Rodeo Drive. So 8 Jilted's got enough form to recommend. She will test this money horse to a good degree, number 9 Komiki Storm, but from what I hear, Komiki Storm, the confidence is up, and she should, they expect her to win.
Well, that's some good information about the first timer. We know that the betting support is there. Anti-post, Alistair's giving you what he's heard on the ground, and he's 100% correct that if she wins this, she may just take a place on Gold Cup Day. By the way, this race meeting is on Thursday, and Thursday is the final declarations for the Hong Kong Jockey Club Whirlpool Gold Cup race meeting, and you'll have enough time. The book should be out on Friday. You'll have enough time to study up a storm. And race number 2, well, horse number 9 is going to be the selection from Alistair, and the word is out on this first timer. The place accumulator. Race number 3, what's the time? 13:25, 1600 meters. And this is a graduation plate, so the best weighted column will be of help. Number 1, William Iron Arm, 5 to 10. Then we go on to number 3, Greeting My Master. There's money here, now being backed into 16 to 10 from 18 to 10. Alex Laird runner with Gavin Lorena up. And the balance are all in double figures. Yeah, the best weighted column belongs to William Ironarm at a 1-1-12 or the 1-1-2. And then the number 7, we are the Logans at a 100. And then I see number 3 at 99. And then there's a gap to the balance of the field. William Ironarm, 5 to 10. You know, the bookmakers, they had very little leeway when pricing up with the horse's rating and what he's been racing against.
Well, let me just say this. This is the best boxed exacta I have ever seen. William Ironarm and Greeting My Master might not pay much more than R2, unfortunately. As far as the exotics that will be open at this race, you can banker one or the other in the bar pot or place accumulator. But going down the 5 to 10 route with number 1, William Ironarm, I wouldn't be able to stretch my arms, unfortunately, with number 1, William Ironarm at 5 to 10. And I'd far rather take boxed exactas, because I think number 3, Greeting My Master, is alive here. William Ironarm would just shade it. If you put me in a corner, gun to my head, and say, right, which one are you going to tip to win? I would go with number 1, William Ironarm, because he's run a Grade 1 level. He's got form to some of the best 3-year-old colts in Johannesburg, and the best weighted column speaks volumes about him. But I think number 3, Greeting My Master's got a good chance of toppling him, and this is why. 2 runs in Joburg after relocating from Cape Town, both from bad draws. His best Cape Town form puts him right among the best 3-year-old colts in Cape Town. We can have the debate where the best 3-year-old colts are. My belief is after the Hollywoodbets Durbanville, they probably are in Cape Town, but I think that there's there's probably more depth in Joburg, but I think there's more quality in Cape Town. That's the way I read it. So I think number 3, Greeting My Master, is alive. He's probably, I think William Ironall might be flattered by his rating of 114, and Greeting My Master might be underappreciated of his rating of 95. Very interesting race. I can't see, there's nothing else of the class of these two horses, so let's anticipate that they'll run first and second, and Doxed Exact is definitely the way to chip away. Like I said, you're not going to get rich, but you'll chip away and make some sort of profit. I can't see anything else happening here.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Alistair using the word boxed, meaning that either or can run first or second. And then for the cherry, you're going to have to play one straight line, whichever horse you fancy to beat the other. That could be the way to go in race number 3. But place accumulator, I think numbers 1 or 3 should be good enough for you. Pick 6 starts in race number 4, 1,450 meters. And let's get into the betting. Number 1 at 11-2, 2 at 8-1. Horse number 4 at 9-2, 5 at 7-1, 7 at 9-2. Then we got number 9 at 5-2 and 10 at 8-1. Yeah, it looks like a very tricky start to the pick 6, Alistair. You know, this horse fully loaded, barring his last start where I don't know what went wrong or what happened or why he showed so little interest in running. On his previous form, he must be a serious contender here. He's 1 from 1 over the course and distance.
I put him in the race date, Dees. It's a very interesting race. It's a complex race, and he's now at the middle stakes level. Obviously not a true handicap. I think he needed his last run behind Tsar Bomber. It also might have been a little bit too strong for him, although this is pretty much of the same type of level, being an average merit rating 89, last was a 93. But I think there are enough excuses for fully loaded last time out, and I think draw 1 is going to help his cause. Would I have a straight win bet on him? No, but he is in my place accumulator. My top choice here is number 4, Dr. Faustus, who goes this trip for the first time, related to a horse called Dr. Doolittle, who I think ran 3rd in the Daily News 2000, so he should appreciate the step up in distance. Gavin Lorena takes the ride. I think his best form puts him into the picture. I don't know if he's exactly one to trust. The fact that he's been sparingly raced and the stop-start he runs, and then he's rested for a short while, then he's back again, and then he's rested for a short while. So I don't think he's the easiest horse to prepare. I like the season that the combination has had. It's very, very easy to praise what Sean Terry and Justin Snaith have done in the trainers department. Obviously, Richard Furrier in the jockeys department breaking all records before him. But Gavin Lorena, for me, has been sort of the second jockey of the season. His strike rate's incredibly high, as is Johan Janssen van Vuren. They're formidable up on the half vault. So for all those reasons, I put number 4, Dr. Faustus, as a huge chance. There's a lengthy list of horses with chances. Now, Andy's Girl interests me, being a middle stakes and being a filly. Trent Mayhew claims 2 of his accredited allowance of 54 kilos on the back of number 9, Andy's Girl. She's capable. And then number 10, Bloomington, loves the inside track. I don't know whether he's quite got the class to win, but I think he can sneak into the top 4. Very, very interesting race this, D's, but 4 and 7 are my PA numbers. You'll need a few more on the pick 6.
4 and 7 for Alistair, hoping that he can possibly double up here, but survival could be the word to use in the place accumulator with those 2 runners. Pick 6 starts at 2 p.m. Race number 5 will be Jackpot 1, 1435, 1450 meters. It's a D division class, merit rated 80. Number 1, Fostinova. There was solid betting support for him last time out, finding one better, 33-10. Number 2, Run for Cover from the Wai Shong Mowing stable, seems to come alive when he races over the course and distance. Horse number 3, Turbo Power, hasn't won for 6 months now, but a horse that will keep you interested on some of his better form lines. And he's been solid in the merit. And I want to pick Alistair's brain about this horse's rating. Number 4, Golden Pavilion, Dennis Schwartz's runner is at 7-2. Number 8 at 7-1. The scratching here, by the way, is number 6. And then we got a form update for number 11. Let's see if that runs from the Borman stable. That's Yanni Borman. Finished 3.5 lengths behind Della's Sword. This horse, Turbo Power, Sean Terry's runner. You know, I don't know why I keep going to this horse every time I have a look at it. I know that last start was good, and the form line has been enhanced. You know, when a horse runs this consistently, one could say he's often used as a line horse. Therefore, you know, it's hard to drop him quickly in the ratings.
And that's that's an unfortunate consequence of being a consistent horse. When you're always there, you're earning your keep, you're earning your money, but the handicapper has his hands tied because you're obviously at that rating. I mean, he got trimmed a pound after his penultimate start, which by virtue brought him a little bit closer last time out. So he's an interesting horse, and as you say, just because of his consistency, if he does run second or third, he's likely to remain a 79, and that's the frustration that Sean Terry's got to deal with, although he owns the horse and he's pretty much guaranteed a stake kick every time Turbo Power comes to the races. He's very much in the play. I think, I've mentioned it before on the show, Sean's done a great job with this horse because when he started his career, he was actually dangerous. There were jockeys who didn't want to ride him. He played the fool. He didn't want to get saddled up. There was all sorts of issues with number 3, Turbo Power. But he was actually in Durban as a youngster. Between Durban and going back to Joburg, Sean ironed out those problems. They actually become a bit of a lamb. He's a lovely horse. And as you can see, his performances have remained consistent. The run to Jury's Out on the 19th of March is one that strikes me. He was drawn hard up on the outside, and that was the day that nothing got a blow in on the outside of the track. And he was still able to run third to Jury's Out. Then Dreamland, at his next start, that's gone on an unbelievable streak, and Dreamland's turned into a big chance in the Umgeni Handicap next Saturday at Hollywoodbets Greyville. So all those reasons, there's a good case for number 3, Turbo Power, to be made. But winning doesn't come too easily, obviously, because the handicap is not doing him any favours in the ratings. 4 Golden Pavilion is my backup. Stayed on in eye-catching fashion last time behind Southern Blaze. He's another consistent horse. He's from a 180 down to a 75. He's got enough going for him to make a case for him, and I think that he's alive. Talking about number 2, Run for Cover, those 2 wins that he produced, they were very eye-catching indeed, but out of draw 1, absolutely everything went right for him in both those starts. It was basically poetry in motion, the way that he was placed, the way the race was run. He was just never in doubt. Life is a little bit harder for him on the back of those wins. The rating's obviously gone up. He's got a trickier draw, and it just won't be all that easy going forward for number 2, Run for Cover. So that's the way I read it. So 3 and 4 for me in the place accumulator. Pick 6 out, include number 8, Fast Duty, and probably number 10, Prince of Kildare as well, just kicking for touch a little bit.
Okay, 8 being a 7-1 shot, and horse number 10 in double figures. Those could be nice results if you're playing to beat the more fancied runners here in race number 5. Let's go to race number 6. It's fillies and mares, 86 handicap, 1,600 meters is the distance. A C division class, Alistair. Number 1 at 6-1. Horse number 2, Miss Hannigan, is at 5-2. So is number 3, Happy Mo. Scratching of number 5, 6 at 8-1, 7 at 5-1, and 9 is at 4-1. Well, Miss Hannigan, the fact that she's won 3 races, of course, there's a story about her. It's one of those Witsblits. That could be the right word. Coming fresh off a ready-to-run race, and a month later winning, and then it's just been a good story, but she's been to a few stables, and Fabian Habib seems to have gotten to the bottom of her, with no disrespect to any of the other trainers. He's got her to win 2 in a row, and she's on a hat-trick.
I think Fabian was in the right place at the right time, with her rating sort of coming down at the right time. And credit to Fabian, because he's actually made Miss Hannigan look like a very smart filly indeed, and she's probably going to have a few suitors when her racing career is over, and she could make a very nice broodmare. That's the price that you pay for starting your career so well in impressive fashion, on the back of obviously winning or going from a ready-to-run sale, running just about a month later, and then you've got to deal with the higher rating that's allocated to you. Obviously, the weight for age scale catches up, and life gets a little bit easier after a while, but it takes a while. And Miss Hannigan turned up at Fabian's yard and has run second, first, and those 2 wins, as mentioned, were very encouraging. In fact, last time a lesser filly would have shirked the issue and not gone on with it. But my big question here, Dees, is how is she going to go over a mile? She's been a mile before. That was a while ago when she was rated in 86. Now she's in 81. She's a better horse now, obviously, but I've always put her in that category as a sprinter that can get 1,400 meters, but a mile might just stretch her a little bit. So I'm leaning towards number 3, Happy Mo here, with Gavin Lorena on board for Johan Janssen van Vuren. The draw's obviously not ideal, and she come back from a bit of a break, but she ran second to Mastership last time out, and Mastership came out and won a solid feature subsequently. So the form looks fairly good for number 3, Happy Mo, and I think that she's going to take a bit of beating here in a very complex and open race. There are obviously a couple of horses that you've got to respect. A horse like number 7, Alpha Betty, Nan Zenobia's gold on the back of a win. If she takes her place, she's got to be respected as well. But I think the race revolves around number 3, Happy Mo, and how she goes. I think that she's above average, and she's a PA banker for me, and I might revolve my day around her, to be honest.
Okay, she is trading at 5-2, as I mentioned, number 3, Happy Mo. I must agree with Alistair, if you're playing deeper in your bets and looking past numbers 2 and 3, this horse, Alpha Betty, the one thing that will grab you, is that last time out, they put the money down, 16-1 into 9-2, and when that type of betting support comes for a filly, don't write her off if she runs badly. Maybe one to follow, and this is the time that you could follow her. Race number 7, a merit-rated 94 divided handicap. It's over 2,000 meters. A quality race, as Alistair mentioned at the top of the show, that this race is attractive to you, the valued racing fan, on the quality that they've got racing on this Thursday. Horse number 1 at 4-1, number 2 at 7-2, number 3 at 7-1, number 4 8-1, 4-1 shots here, numbers 5 and 6. And then we got a runner that's done me a few favors in the past, number 8, Pretty in Pearls, trading at 5-1. And she comes under the radar here, 52 kgs in this high C division class compared to what she's been racing against. But I'm expecting a fair run from her. I think that she could be out of place when it comes to quality, but she is a game filly, Pretty in Pearls. What's your thoughts here, Alistair? 2,000 meters, fillies and mares. It looks like an attractive field. I don't know what's your thought process with horses that have done you favors in the past. Do you always remain loyal, or are you willing to eliminate them when you feel they're not good enough to win?
I'm a loyalist. I think many people probably know that when they've done me a favor, I stick with them. And even when they do go missing for a while, I think the key is to back your judgment and what you think, because inevitably they will come and reward you. And I think the racing gods tend to go against you when you do lose patience with them. I've heard too many stories and I've seen too many times where someone's tipped me horse A, they're on sides with it for 3 or 4 runs, there's no return, and then all of a sudden you wash your hands of that horse, and then they suddenly pop up. Obviously, there are one or two exceptions. For example, Aravadicho is one of those that I will simply never touch again, although he's gone down to Bergenau with Tara Lang, so maybe he'll find some life down on the coast at a different venue. But with that said, yes, I am a loyalist, so for that reason I'd recommend number 8, Pretty in Pearls, in the pick 6. But there are 2 horses that I really like here. They form part of my place accumulator, and those are numbers 5 and 6. First and foremost, they come in perfectly onto the handicap, so they got bottom weight and they're not under sufferance. On the run on the 22nd of June, which is where Pretty in Pearls comes into the picture, Ronnie of Couture finished in front of Pretty in Pearls and then Sad with Roses. There was 1 1/4 lengths between them. I'd anticipate that the handicapper doesn't expect there to be much between them, but the weights do show that number 6, Sad with Roses, will turn that form around with those 2 horses in front. What you've got to bear in mind, though, is that Ronnie of Couture came from off the pace, turned it on in good style, and may have won a little bit easier than the margin suggested. So that puts all 3 of these lightweights in with a claim. The only horse that is under sufferance of those 3 is number 8, Pretty in Pearls. So in a roundabout way, what I'm saying is that in the place accumulator, you can go with 2 of the 3 horses. My top 2 are 5 from 6, but in the pick 6, you'll need to include number 8, Pretty in Pearls. And I must be honest, with Little Mary Sunshine being of a good quality but giving so much weight away, I think that those are the horses to focus on in this race.
Okay, Alistair's thoughts on race number 7. Race number 8, 2,000 meters, fillies and mares divided handicap. And we're now at the final stages of the race meeting. 2 more to go. If you're running in the exotics, well, let's see what Alistair's got to offer in the 8th race. Number 1 at 7-2. Horse number 2 at 7-2. Then we got 3 at 9-2. There is a form update for number 4, finished 6, 3.5 lengths behind the winner. That was on the 13th of July. See if that takes its place. Horse number 6 at 7-1. Number 9 at 7-1. Horse number 10 at 8-1. And then it's double figures, the balance. I'll tell you which horse really interests me, Alistair. And I think, Muzieni could be the man to bring this filly home. Number 10, Have a Party.
I like Have a Party, and that's exactly why I like Have a Party, is Muzieni taking the ride. There's so much muddled form, Dees. I hate the cliche, but it probably fits in this race. Run this race 20 times, you get 20 different results, so that's why you've got to be careful. All the collateral form, all the weight turnarounds don't really give you much indication of who's really set up here, but Have a Party does figure quite nicely on all those collateral form lines as being a horse with a legitimate chance. Last time caught the eye behind Gilda Grey. On that run, feeling groovy, does have a positive swing at the weights, but Have a Party should be bang there as well on that run. So I do give her a strong vote of confidence, and I think that she is alive. My other runners here are 1 and 2. These last 2 races are the trickiest races on the card. Avo and Toast out of a good draw on the back of a good win last time over the scratched earlier on Putin's Promise. I know Joey Somers always held this filly in high regard. She is a half sister to South African Classic winner Rodeo the one that Julius Mariba won on. Red Saxon is the horse's name. So Avo on Toast has definitely genetically got some sort of chance. Draw 1's going to be a big advantage as mentioned. And I think number 2, Springer's not a bad little filly either. Gavin Lorena's on board. Last time behind Hillary Step, I think she may have just needed it on the back of a short layoff. She'll be better for the run, and it could be key that Gavin stuck with his daughter of Vercingetorix as well. When she won, she beat Perform. That was a very, very ordinary maiden. That is a worry, but she's always given the impression that every time she runs, it might be a small step up, but she is making gradual steps up. So I think number 2, Springer, is a horse just to respect and to include into the play.
Okay, Alistair's giving you numbers 1, 2, and 10 there in race number 8. And with horse number 10, I think you will be more confident in running if she jumps on terms, because last time out it wasn't by design that she found herself towards the back of the field. So it's up to Muzi. If she jumps, she gets away, we'll be confident in running that she can put in a bold performance. And then we close things off in race number 9, 1,800 meters. It's a merit-rated 86 handicap, Alistair, and the quality continues at Turffontein on this Thursday. This is the way they're betting. I like a horse here at a big price. Maybe you're going to give me your thoughts. Well, number 7 is at 5-1, number 8 at 8-1, 9 at 5-1, 10 is a 5-1 shot, and then number 14 at 8-1. And I'm going to go straight into the runner that I like, Alistair, and it's going to be number 1. I know the weight may put many off, but if you have a look at the weight from top to bottom, there's really not much in it, barring number 10, Clarkson, at 55. Between the balance of the field, 61 kgs to, let's call it, 56 and a half. You can either, use it from 61 and a half or from 60. Either way, the differential stays the same. But number 1, Tamarisk Tree is going to be my pick here, Alistair, as a possible value. And I've jotted down the betting at 12-1.
Big runner, Dees.
No.
Just going into he's in my PA. I've got 4 horses in the PA, but here's my top choice, number 1, Tamarisk Tree. I'll get to why in a moment. You're talking about the 61 and a half that he carries, but if you make it relative and adjust it, which is, pretty pointless, but if you did and adjust him to 60 kilos, which is the general top weight, then the bottom weight is only 53 and a half. It doesn't sound like he's giving all that much weight away, as you were pointing out. Now, talking about Tamarisk Tree, Joburg came to Cape Town, and he always looked like he was knocking on the door and that a win would just be around the corner. But as a result, his rating gradually came down. He went back to Joburg and he won in good style, beating Gimme a Light. And I thought he won, first of all, easy in the margin suggested, but I remember looking at him in the ring thinking he might need the run, and he still came out on top. He was totally overdone, or undone rather, by a bad draw last time when he was ridden for luck on a fast track and didn't make up much ground, but made up a little bit of ground to give give some sort of late impression, did number 1 Tamarisk Tree. I think from a good draw and by default being closer to the pace, there's a lot in this horse's favour, and there's no way that I'm going to let him run loose. He's a big player. He's got to go into trifectas and quartets, and I think the price is very inflated and very appealing about number 1 Tamarisk Tree. He is no good thing because he can run the odd bad race, so there are quite a few horses that you'll need to run for cover with. 8 Champion Warrior, him and Pierce Stratham did not get along last time out. He also may have needed the run. He'll be better with that run under the belt. He started his career with a bang at Hollywoodbets Durbanville, win with Brett Crawford. He's come to life a little bit. He's probably under-delivered, number 8 Champion Warrior, but for Stevie Donahue, it might be time that he strikes. 10 Pocket Watch, for me, is on the up. I think he's capable of mixing it at this level, and I can see him going close. And number 14, Clarkson, it was so good to see him back to life last time, beating Rosario Finale in good style, and off a light weight, he's going to be dangerous. So those are my 4 horses, but there's no doubt for me, my 2 money makers here are numbers 1 and 8.
1 and 8. What roving bankers will there be in the quartet for you if you had to use them? That's going to be proper. If numbers 1 and 8 finish in the top 4 and you get the ideal result of some outsiders filling in the minor positions, well, you will get some big cash here to round things off at Turffontein. So, Alistair, you mentioned that your chosen bet is the place accumulator. It's up on screen.
It is. It starts in race 3 at 25 past 1. Start off with banker number 1, William Iron Arm, but you can bank your 1 or 3. Second leg got numbers 4 and 7, Dr. Faustus and Fully Loaded. Then got numbers 3 and 4, Turbo Power and Golden Pavilion. Banker 3, Happy Mo. By numbers 5 and 6, Ronnie of Coturn, Sad with Roses. Hopefully there we are alive. I don't see the PA paying absolute rockets after 5 legs, but being alive, maybe doubling up once or twice, and then we gain ground in the last 2 legs. 1 Avo, 1 Toast, 2 Springer, and 10 Have a Party. And then finally, if I double up in the last leg, I'll be very, very happy indeed, because that's where we're going to make a lot of ground in the exotics. 1 Tamarisk Tree, 8 Champion Warrior, 10 Pocket Watch, and 14 Clarkson.
Well, it is a recorded show. It's a day before the race meeting, so it's being recorded on Wednesday for Thursday, as you've come to know. And it's worth mentioning because Alistair is firmly involved in Western Cape racing. It's just come through, Alistair, not just come through, let's call it 15, 20 minutes ago, but we were doing the show, but I thought I'll bring it up. Unfortunately, we've lost Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on the Wednesday, so that would have been a standalone meeting, only Hollywoodbets Scottsville. But the weather certainly, caused a lot of damage, a lot of havoc, a lot of people's lives have been messed up completely down in the Western Cape. And, racing has been affected in a big way as well.
No one complains about rain. Rain is a blessing, the old African proverb. And after the Hollywoodbets Durban July, as many viewers know, I was just man down and spent time in Johannesburg. Well, the heavens have truly opened in Cape Town. I've been back here for 72 hours, and it's rained enough. I attended the gallops at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth on the Wednesday morning. Corne Orfer and Anthony Andrews were the 2 that galloped Justin Snaith runners. And I can tell you that standing in the car park waiting for the horses to arrive early in the morning while it was still dark, there's utter desperation among all stakeholders to race. To lose one race meeting, you can kind of take the knock. But when you're losing race meetings as much as you can, you can't control the weather. The track is simply wet. There's been over 400 mils of rain in July in Cape Town alone, and what are we not? We're just through halfway, and there's more rain forecast. It's obviously a blow for everyone. Cape Racing are making every opportunity, or giving every opportunity, to add more race meetings next week, where the forecast is better past the weekend. So hopefully we're able to recover some of the race meetings that we've lost. The main focus here in Cape Town is obviously looking after the owners, giving them the experience, giving them bang for their buck, etc. So there's a desperation among all. It's not a cop-out. It's just logistically, and it would be unfair as well to punters. If this is from a punter's perspective, with horses not being able to get sufficient work, it would become a little bit of a guessing game. But hopefully from next week, there's obviously a meeting carded for Saturday. With a forecast, that might look a little bit unlikely, but holding thumbs that the weatherman's got that one incorrect. But next week is likely to clear up, and hopefully we can gain a little bit of ground, get some meetings under the belt towards the end of the season, and start from the 1st of August when everything resets to 0 on the right footing.
Thanks for that, Alistair Cohen, and we thank him for his time for previewing this Thursday meeting at Turffontein on the inside track. From Alistair Cohen, the Gallop TV team, and myself, Dees Dine, and to you, the valued racing fan, have a blast, find all the winners, and hopefully it turns out to be a very successful day for you if you are playing at Turffontein on this Thursday. Until we meet again, you take care. Salani Gashle.